So this is part 2 of the video I just did related to some questions about law enforcement. I just wanted to carry on a little bit more. I was talking about history repeating itself and how totalitarian governments have always used a little bit of necessity within the law. A little that little flavor that can resonate with people to say, yeah, we need more safety. We need more gun control. We need more environmental control because we want to take care of the earth and we don't want to shoot each other and we don't want to do that. And when you look through history, that is always what has happened, where people have been enslaved, where rights have become privileges, and the people have ultimately had to pay for the privileges they get, and our rights are completely destroyed. I find it ironic, though, that this constitutional republic, based on biblical principles, would give up its foundational principles of God. And it's funny because governments have always abolished God from their society so that they can become God. When we look at the communists, communism believes that they're a religion because they believe in the complete abolition of God as the state reigns supreme. This is not rocket science. I just don't understand why people can't get this. So if history is correct and governments always rule over its people, and Americans actually sense an abuse, hasn't anyone connected themselves to the danger as government continues to demonize its people? As we speak against the abuses of government, as it justifies its reach for more power? History repeats itself. This is completely clear. And we've got government agencies that tell us that we need to be able to, comply. And when those principles, I would suggest, are completely against our constitutional principles, which is probably why that the law enforcement has been taught by the federal government through the Southern Poverty Law Center that anybody that supports the Constitution is a demon, because of the fact that we rely on God and that we have a moral standard. I think there's a book called The Doctrine of Lesser Magistrates that articulates that. So there's a move to remove God and make government God, to reduce every right to a privilege, and then have government force the people to be able to pay for that privilege, eventually abolishing the privilege. Like I had mentioned before, Jefferson, I think it was, had said that obedience to tyrants is disobedience to God. So I guess what I'm saying is that tyranny is here. And it may be a soft tyranny. It might be a comfortable, fuzzy little tyranny. We need more gun regulations. We've got another shooting. The gun just got up on its own and just started shooting people. We've got to have environmental regulations because, we need to restore our planet for our kids and make sure that it's pristine and clear and all of those things. Meanwhile, we're being moved through something called the Rural Initiative to be able to move us in highly densely populated areas. Some people say that there's chemtrails in the air and our blood is being contorted by the food we eat through genetically modified food that has been controlled with a partnership between the food companies, the big pharmaceuticals, and government. It's just, you can't even make this stuff up. The involvement in private businesses, in government, is enslaving its people. And that's why I think a lot of us call our government no longer a constitutional republic, but a corporatist democracy, or a corporatist oligarchy, or something along those lines. So something is seriously wrong, and all I want to be able to do is one of those people that stand firmly no matter what, and to be able to ask questions that need to be asked. The things like, what kids are learning in school. If we love our kids, then why are we enslaving them to all kinds of debt, and the only thing that we can think of is ourselves? I travel the state, and all people can say is, "I'm too busy, Tom." If you're too busy, then your children will suffer. And if all you can think about is yourself, then what is going to be left for your kids? What is going to be left when our form of government completely is destroyed to the point where we don't have any freedom left? And we wave our flag and we go to our rodeos and we say we love our troops, even though they're occupying 193 countries in unconstitutional wars because Congress hasn't declared war, but somehow it's okay because humanitarian missions are somehow okay even if they're under the United Nations. And you know what? Common Core is okay. Even though it's not a law, it was never passed as a law. It was passed as a rule, and the schools are actually going to be going to use that against the people, and they're going to prevent anybody from fighting against it when it wasn't even created to be able to educate our students, and it wasn't even created by an educator. And the reason why I'm mentioning Common Core and totalitarian governments and the UN is because it's all connected. If we have no idea what our principles of liberty are under the limited government of our Constitution, and we're being demonized because we start questioning what the heck is going on in our country, which we have every right to do, and we're being told that we need to comply, dear God. I may want to comply on the road while cars are going 90 miles an hour and 3 feet behind some guy, and this should be better done in an environment where we can actually communicate in an office conference room or something like that, which is what I'm doing. You know, there's no point in trying to articulate our problems and stuff when we're being pulled over or detained, as the officer says, on the side of the road, without even understanding what the nature and cause of why we're being pulled over, on whether it's actually a crime or it's a infraction that actually cushions the retirement benefits for judges as a conflict of interest that, again, destroys the rights of the people. So anyway, I just kind of went all over on that one, but the whole point is that, you know, every video I do is a call for action. It's a call to be able to get people to stand up righteously and say, you know what, this is my country. Not only is this happening to me, but I understand now what's going to be left for our kids, and I'm not going to tolerate it. We need to be able to stand up, and we need to communicate as respectfully as possible on these issues and start asking questions. And then the people, hopefully, that are sitting across from us that are hearing these questions might think about it and say, you know what? Maybe we really ought to start thinking about the questions that are being asked. If we can't answer these questions, maybe we should try to figure out a way that we can answer these questions, or at least come to the table. Oh, wait, get a place at the table. You know, our federal government uses that. Maybe we could find a way to be able to get a place at the table to be able to communicate about just what the heck is going on. And yeah, a lot of it has to do with us, you know, our inability to, you know, because of the fact that we're too busy to read, or we're too busy to pay attention, we're too busy to be active, is a lot of the reason why the things that are happening today are happening. And the other thing that's important to remember is a friend of mine enlightened me on something I guess I never really thought about. I always use the term government, and it's a horrible generality, but there are good people in government. There are not so good people in government. Just like there are good people that are citizens and maybe not so good people that are citizens. To be able to generalize is absolutely dangerous. And if we can't look at people for who they are and we end up generalizing, then it's no wonder that we're called constitutionalists, as we've been demonized. And as we end up generalizing law enforcement, saying those, you know, law enforcement is corrupt. There's good and bad in every entity, and I think that what we need to do is we need to recognize that. We need to recognize those that are good, and we need to be able to point out things that are not so good. And anyway, that's just all I can do. So anyway, I don't think you'll see me again this weekend, but I did want to finish up on that. I know it was kind of a roundabout thing, but I still think that it's kind of important. At least I thought there were some important elements in it, maybe not. So I hope I didn't waste your time. But God bless you guys. Love you. Bye.